That's why, especially in interpersonal relationships, when we feel rejected by maybe someone we like, or maybe our own family, we feel devastated. We feel like you know Hi guys, I'm Priyam again from For Humans. Welcome back to another video on mental health. Today we'll be talking about rejection, why it hurts, why it should not hurt practically. But before we dive into the video, I wanted to make a toast for all humans who are keeping up with life, who are putting consistent efforts in improving their life and improving their mental health. And this toast is not for someone who simply sits on couch, binge watches Netflix or whatever, and keeps complaining and crying about their life. This toast is for humans who are walking down the path of greatness. So, why rejection hurts and why it should not hurt? Right. So when I talk about rejection, I'm not just referring to the romantic relationships, even though that's an area where we see a lot of rejections, right? But I'm also referring to the other areas of life, like maybe in job interviews. Maybe your friends had a party and they not invited you, or maybe those small events where you feel left out by people and you feel bad, right? So coming back to rejection, guys, do you ever question? Do you ever question that? Why do you feel bad or upset as a consequence of being rejected? Where is this idea of feeling bad or upset stems from every time we feel rejection? Why don't we feel happy about it? Why are we conditioned like that? There has to be some roots. Where are its roots? Can we find it? Yes, we can find it. But to find that, we'll have to go back in time where people had no clothes but leaves. And people back then knew that there's no such clothing on planet Earth which can make you look more beautiful than your own naked body. So people back then lived in jungles in their tribes with their brides, just like wolf in packs and lion in prides, just to survive. Nice rap, right? So people lived in tribes, to survive, because if you were not in a tribe, if you're alone, you're more likely going to be a food for a predator, right? And that's why rejection back then was a very horrifying event for anybody, right? Because if you're rejected, that implied either death or struggle for food, right? Or struggle to protect yourself. Basically, rejection meant your survival is at risk, right? And that's exactly where the fear of rejection stems from. Do you see that? That's why after experiencing after experiencing the relationship between rejection and survival for thousands of years, our brain has been conditioned for to trigger an automated response towards rejection, which is more likely feeling upset, or more likely feeling like as if there is no more reason to live. That's why, especially in interpersonal relationships, when we feel rejected by maybe someone we like, or maybe our own family, we feel devastated. We feel like there is no hope of life. And for few people it becomes really intense and they commit suicide. Why? Because back in the time, in the tribal age, that was the reality. If you were rejected, you're gonna be die. You're gonna be captured by predators. Maybe they will kill you and eat, or maybe they will enjoy their power over you and exploit you, torture you. So rejection back then was really horrifying, right? But in the modern age, that is not true, right? In the modern age, we don't live in tribes. We have means of having a job, making finances, and living a life alone. Any human being in the present world can live his complete life being alone. Of course, he will not be happy if he has emotional and psychological needs, which everybody has, unless he's a psychopath, right? So there's absolutely no reason to feel devastated or to feel bad or to feel upset because of rejection. But that doesn't mean that we will let go of the beautiful opportunity that rejection brings up with itself. What do I mean by that? Think about it. if you're rejected, or if anybody was rejected back in the tribal age, more likely you or they lacked in some things, in certain skills. If you go for a job, you maybe lack some skill, that's why they don't want to have you. And same thing goes on with relationships. But of course, in relationships, people often make decisions based on their taste and choices, so I don't recommend conforming to those tastes and choices, because you could be a man or a woman who has done the work on themselves, and they're completely fit and fine to be in a relationship, but your counterpart may be looking for someone taller than you, maybe with some different physical features that you might not have. So you don't have to conform to them, but look for someone who wants who has a taste for you, right? And I completely understand and I get it that it's easier said than done. Rejection can be extremely devastating for men and women both, right? I myself have had a few rejections in my life, but let's be honest, guys. Everything that is psychological, everything that you think about every time you face some rejection, the story that you make up in your mind that I got rejected, maybe I'll end up like that, and maybe I'm miserable, maybe I'm not worthy enough, things like that. Everything that is psychological, it is false. All your worries are false. 90% of them are not gonna happen. It's just that your brain is so used to and addicted to certainty. It is not comfortable with uncertainty because it often links uncertainty with the probability of upcoming threat, right? And so like the brain has this habit of connecting present dots to conclude the upcoming future so that it can relax and peace, and that's why every time when you go through a rejection or go through some negative scenario where you don't find success, but you face failure, the brain automatically connects those dots and concludes in front of you that by default, just because you failed here, by default, if you're like that, you will end up being there, right? But being a human being, you don't work by default, right? You have the power to make a decision and change your entire life, right? So in a nutshell, guys, because rejection does not imply death in the modern age, like in the tribal age, it automatically becomes an opportunity to give life another shot, to give life a better shot, right? So with that said, guys, I hope this video helped you. I hope it gave you some sort of clarity. And if you guys have any other challenges in life, like rejection, and you find yourself being stuck in those phases, let me know in the comments below about them, and I'll be unfolding those events for you in my video, and I'll try my best to give you guys some clarity on why is it like that and what can you do about it, because I enjoy that. So let me know in the comments below, and if you're willing to have a one-on-one session with me, if you are stuck in life and you need one-on-one session with me, then reach out to me on Instagram, DM me there, and I'll reach out to you, right? So that was it for this video, guys. I'll see you in my next video. Till then, do well.